Good morning again, wrestling fans. Back again here on GMWF for the second time today. Was just recording a little bit ago, and then all of a sudden the app stopped recording. Don't know why, but back for a two-part episode of 360 Good Morning Wrestling fans today. I apologize for that. If you were listening to the first part, just imagine when I got cut off there, to be continued coming up. And now this is the second part. I was just talking about Killer Kross and AJ Styles. Kross costing AJ Styles the Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam Saturday night. And now let's go over onto TNT for AEW Rampage, which was taped Wednesday night at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. And tonight we will see for the AEW International Championship, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy defending against Johnny TV, representing QTV, and also Darby Allin versus Brian Cage. That should be a pretty good match. And also we have from the Outcasts, Saraya taking on Sky Blue, and the winner will go on to the four-way Women's Championship match at All In London. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions Aussie Open will be in action. And that is what we have in store tonight for AEW Rampage. Sounds like a pretty good Friday night of wrestling. Definitely interested in seeing Saraya and Sky Blue tonight. Also interested to see what they are going to do with Jimmy and Jey Uso on SmackDown tonight. Because Saturday night at SummerSlam, when Jimmy came out in that hoodie and bandana, costing his brother the match, betraying him, Roman Reigns in the ring and Paul Heyman outside of the ring as well had looks on their faces like they did not know that was going to happen. So they might not be a part of this angle. Maybe it'll just be a one-on-one singles feud between the Usos and Jimmy. Just might have acted on his own and turned on his brother. But we will definitely have to wait and see what happens in this angle. Could lead to a match between Jimmy versus Jey at Payback. Or do you think maybe they'll hold off on it? And that's all tonight on SmackDown. Once again, yesterday, a new podcast debuted, 360 Anything Goes. The first episode, I talked about Young Rock, the 3 seasons, and I'm going to say I talked a whole lot about each season, and maybe for another future episode of Anything Goes, I might talk about just one episode of Young Rock. But that is the new 360 podcast, and even though I did kind of talk wrestling in the first episode, it's going to be my only non-wrestling podcast. Might just talk about anything. A lot of times I might be talking about an episode of a TV show I like. But don't worry, because here at 360 Wrestling Podcasts, the main, most important part of it will always be pro wrestling. And that's all for this Friday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And I hope to have a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight after SmackDown and Rampage. Hopefully, anyway. But one thing is for sure, I will be back tomorrow morning for the Saturday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. And hope everyone has had a good morning so far. Hope everyone enjoys SmackDown and Rampage tonight. But until then, have a great pro wrestling day.